Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for this edition of Terri Talks Movies. I'm your host, Terri Lee Chandler, and joining me today is indie filmmaker and actress Zakiyyah BG, based in Lansing, Michigan. Thank you so much for joining me, Zakiyyah.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I just want you to know that Lansing holds a very special place in my heart because I worked there for a while and my husband is from there. That's where we met. So Lansing is very special to me.
That's good. A lot of creatives here. So, is he also a creative?
Yes, he is. And I think that's why we hit it off. He's a
Okay.
longtime DJ. So,
Oh,
and a
okay,
lot of people
cool.
know him. Yeah.
Okay.
So now, speaking of Lansing, that's where you got your start in acting because you started at Sexton High School, right?
I did. I also graduated from there. I did lots of drama there, thespian, just everything creative, anything I could do. I did musicals. I was in the choir, just wherever I can get my hands into. So.
Wow. Well, then Lansing's been very good to you because you've come a long way since then. I've
I
been watching
have.
your
I have.
Facebook page and you're burning up.
Got to turn the heat up. Got to turn it up.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned in your introduction, you are an indie filmmaker and an actress. And over the past year, all of us have been dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. So tell me, how have you been coping?
I've been just working, staying at home, kind of working on my craft. I'm so happy that when I had shot my short film Bad Napping, it happened way before COVID. And what kind of happened was once we started shipping it like to festivals and stuff, that's right when COVID just hit. So we really couldn't get to go out and, meet and talk with other indie filmmakers. And we just kind of missed out on that, but we still, won awards and stuff. We got to still get it out there to be seen. But yeah, just staying at home and just hammering, working on that craft.
Hmm. Well, speaking of working on your craft, you're also a writer. So have you done any writing during the pandemic?
No, I'm going to push all my writing to the end of this year because I'm trying to get my next set of monologues out. So I just been on that, just working just on that, but I will get back into writing. Got some things cooking up. So.
Well, and speaking of monologues, I was looking at your Facebook page and I mean, you have so many on there. So you've been working really hard at that.
Yes, that's like a part-time job because I have my regular job and then this job. So like that was the first 25. I'm getting ready to, well, I'm already working on the next 25. So 50 altogether plus some extras, but I love it.
And why so many? Is there a certain goal you have in mind?
Well, at first I was like, how many people have done like 50 monologues? And I was like, okay, but how many people did 50 good monologues? I was like, okay. It was mainly to focus on my acting craft. And a lot of people didn't know I knew how to act unless it was like my drama teacher or people that were in like an acting class with me. A lot of people didn't know that. So I was like, okay, that has to change. And as soon as I put those monologues out, people were like, dude, I didn't know, like, I need you in this project. And it's kind of blew up for me from there.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a tip for other up and coming actresses to maybe try something like that.
Yeah, put yourself out there. It's going to be, you're always going to have that fear behind you because you don't know if it's going to be great or if you're going to look stupid. So what? We're actors. We're supposed to look stupid, supposed to be fools. It's okay. But that's how you learn, though. You take that, okay, this is where I messed up at. How are you going to go about fixing it? How are you going to get better? And that's the thing. How am I going to get better? I never want to be comfortable at one level. Like I have to grow.
Right. And that's one thing about being an actor is that you can't be afraid to be, because you have to, as you know, envelop the character. So if that person
Gotta
is,
be vulnerable, emotional.
yes, absolutely. Well, now speaking of
Mm-hmm.
acting and your monologues, for people that may not have seen it yet, let's share your monologue. There's from the Crucible on your IMDb page. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. Share. Can you see it? All right, here we go.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, great. Here it comes. It's a little slow.
Hey, it's all good.
Technology. Remember, everyone, we're taping this as a live show.
Hey, you remember back in the day when you used to have to like, you couldn't be on the phone, you had to dial up to get on the internet? So you
Right.
done come a long way.
Yes, yeah. It looks like it's coming. It's twirling.
How many times he
No.
me kill you, Mr.
I'm still
Paris?
loading.
Uh-oh, it's acting funny.
Rise up, teach you, but cut that man's
Might
throat.
needs to load a little bit.
I say, no, devil, I don't hate that man. You say, Teachiba, you work for me. I make you free. I give you pretty dress to wear. And I put you way up high in the air. You're going to fly back home to Barbados. And I say, no, devil, you lie. And, and then him come to me one stormy night and him say, Teachiba, look, I asked white people belong to me. And I look, and there was Sarah Good. And Goody Osborne.
Wow. Now tell me, I'll stop the share. Now tell me, you were really emotional in that scene there, in that monologue. How did you prepare and get into character for that?
I guess call it my own little method, which I should start a class. But one of my techniques I use, I have a certain selection of music that I only listen to when I need to get in the zone. Like I don't listen to that music any other time. So that's what I do. I listen to that music and I go into just this place and I let whatever comes up, the feelings come up, I just let it happen. Or sometimes like current events, a lot of current events, things in the world gets me really upset and I get really emotional. Like for instance, there was just a woman that murdered two of her babies. That makes me furious right now. Like that, I'm not even a mother, and that's just something in me just makes me it just makes me boil because there's all these children out here that aren't being protected, and it just drives me crazy. So sometimes I just look at the world, what impacts me right now, because sometimes when you go on your emotional past, that takes a lot of time. You know, you got to relive it all over again, and it's not as fresh as it was when it happened. So that takes a little time, but those are some of my options. I look at the world around me. I use music, anything, colors even can make me emotional. So whatever's available to me at that moment.
Because I know I've heard actors say in the past that it's hard for them to cry on cue, but I saw those tears drop, falling. So that's
It's a
part of it.
buildup. It's like boiling water. Like you put it high enough and it'll slowly start to boil. And then when it boils, you just let it go. You don't force it no more. Just whatever comes out, comes out. So.
Wow. Well, now you posted on Facebook that acting is not as easy as it looks. And a lot of people think acting is fun and they want to do it, but they don't know the work that goes into it. Talk a little bit about that.
It's not as easy as it looks, and nobody really thinks about the mental health that goes into it. See, when you get up there and you get in these emotional places, I just did a piece where I literally forced myself to become depressed. I'm somebody who in the past suffered with seasonal depression. So that wasn't really good for me, but I knew that's what I need to do for this character. And I was so relieved after doing the work, I was able to go back to myself. So it's hard because not only do you have to learn your lines, prepare to get into character, but your body's your instrument, your mind, all those emotions, getting your heart rate up. I feel like to me it can take a toll on your health. So sometimes it's good just to step away, from the acting. But I love it. I wouldn't do anything else in the world. But it's still work though at the end of the day.
Well, I was just about to ask you, considering the toll that it does take on you and other actors, is it worth it? You really got to love it, right?
You really do have to love it. You have to love it, be committed to it, and you also need to know how to get out of it as well. Because it's not your whole entire life, You can use the world around you and because I drive a bus, I'm always seeing people. I'm always watching people, how they interact with each other. I'm like, oh, that's a natural like argument right there and how it started. I just listen. But there's also times when, okay, I don't know if I'm ever not acting because I just try to separate my life. Like, if I'm not acting, then I feel like I'm finding something to observe, but just being indulged with, don't forget to live is what I'm saying. Make sure you live, because when you live, that enriches your acting. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, driving a bus, you must meet some pretty interesting people out there.
I meet people from all walks of life, from college graduates to people who sleep underneath the highway pathways. I do. And it humbles me because I can see that same person might be this person the next day. And it happens fast, and it can break your heart sometimes. I seen proposals on the bus. I seen people pass out on the bus. I done seen a lot of things, and you learn a lot. You just learn to be grateful in your own life, because that's all it takes is one experience. I seen an accident today here in Lansing at an intersection. Just takes one thing, change your whole life.
Mm-hmm. Do you see a movie maybe coming one day from your experiences on that bus?
Mm, idea for like a sitcom, like a reality TV show for like bus drivers, because we ain't got one yet. I used to be a school bus driver, so that right there, that's a whole nother ball game of driving right there. I think it would be nice to have like a comedy, like reality TV show of bus drivers, just the life that they go through. There's nothing like that out there, and we go through a lot of stuff. So
I can imagine. Well, now, you mentioned your project Bad Napping, and that was entered into the I See You Awards. How did you come up with that storyline?
I have such a dark sense of humor, and I think outside the box. And I always remember this saying my mom used to say. She's like, "Well, if they kidnap you, they gonna bring you right back, because we kids, we bad and all that stuff." So I thought about like, what happened if they kidnap a kid and it's not how they expected. They at this point wants to get rid of the kid, which is a total opposite. So I just went with that and just kind of wrote it. And what I'm supposed to be doing with that, I'm supposed to do a continuation of a series. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay. Well, you're off to a good start.
I'll start somewhere.
Now tell me, there is a push on, you may know this, to bring the film incentives back to Michigan.
I heard about
how do
that.
you feel about that?
I'm very excited about that. But I used to live out in California. I lived out there for about like a year and a half. And before I left, they had the film incentive, and it was like booming. Like they had the Michigan Actors Network site thing, and there was always castings. There was always projects going on. And then when I came back, I was like, what happened to everything? Where'd it go? And then that's when I found out that they didn't have the tax thing. So I think that would help bring jobs here for us, not as actors, but as people who are doing graph, grips, all that, production assistants, all that. I think that would be really great for us. We need that. I think Michigan could be as great as Atlanta if we have that backing and more people come here to use Michigan to film. Because I heard they're going up to Canada too to do a lot of filming. So
yeah, and you know what? I met a filmmaker who told me that he loved filming in Pontiac because there were so many different places he could go, and it would stand in for so many different locations in a movie.
Okay.
And even like downtown Detroit, it's so much rich history and so much, the scenery. And so I personally hope that eventually they do get the film incentives back. I think it'd be a major asset.
It would. I thought Pontiac was doing like a film studio thing. I heard something about that like a while back. I just never,
They had one, and it might still be something there, but there was one in Allen Park that went kaput because the film incentives left.
Right.
There was so many businesses that came about because of that industry that are no longer around anymore, or maybe still around and not doing as well because we don't have our incentives. So when these lawmakers realize that it's not just fun and games, it's not just sending money out the door, it's bringing money in here and creating jobs, then I think maybe hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, because we got the talent here in Michigan.
Absolutely.
We have it. We just need the money.
Yeah, and not everybody wants to pick up and relocate. People want to stay here.
Like like if it was booming and I can work and stuff and I wouldn't have to have a really like a second job, if I could just act full time, I would do it. But right now I am looking towards Atlanta, Los Angeles. Do I want to? Kind of, but if I can stay here and build up Michigan, I would love to do that.
Right.
Love to do that.
Yeah. But we understand you have to do what you have to do if to further your career.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So now, um, sounds like you have a lot going on, especially with your acting. So, what are your plans for the future? Is there anything coming up that we should know about?
I have a few things coming up. I have like 3 different projects and I'm in. I just got a lead role for a short film later in September. Can't talk about it right now until I get permission that I can talk about it, of course. But that and my monologues is my main goals for these years. Getting more, working on my range and my acting and just getting that out there. And right now, I'm fishing. I'm fishing to see who's gonna bite, who's gonna, who else I can link up with out of Michigan. If I can hook up with people in Tennessee, Atlanta, Cali, Florida, wherever. I'm just trying to, branch out my net. So.
Well, it sounds great. Congratulations on everything so far. I know some people that are in Atlanta right now, and some of them went out there and started networking and meeting people, signing up with talent agencies, and
killing it.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, some of them may have to still have another job, but it takes, persistence.
Yeah. I know a friend girl who went down there and she's just eating right now. She's like, come down here, like you will work. And I'm like, okay, all right, but that still takes money. It's a transition. You can't just pack up and leave, even though I did that before. But yeah, you got to plan it out.
Yeah. Oh, well, keep us posted because we're wishing you all the best. We want you to be successful.
Thank you.
We want to see our filmmakers and actresses and actors and everybody else in the industry do well. That's what we're all about. That's what I'm all about. So I'm glad that we were able to spend some time today shining a spotlight on your career.
I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. And if there's anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to bring up, now's the time.
Well, just to any artists out there, doesn't matter if you're a writer, director, actor, it doesn't matter. Start. It don't matter how bad you are, please just start because you can fix it along the way. You can learn along the way. If you are really passionate about it, you feel like it's like your soul calling, just do it. It doesn't matter. And then get with other people who are better than you at what you do and work with them and study, study, study. You might have to cut your social life off a little bit, but just do the work. That's all I got to say. I believe in it.
I think that's excellent advice because in any career, that people may want to pursue, you're not just going to open the door one day and there it is. Right. You have to work for it and you have to really want it bad enough to work for it. Because if you think, oh, I want to be a star, and I've heard that before too, I want to be a star. Well, no, it's not about being a star. It's about doing what you love.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even think being a star is all what it's cracked up to be. I really don't think it is. That's why I say you really got to be into it because you love doing it. Because I think it's just like any other job. You're going to have bosses you don't like. You're going to have working with co-stars and people that you probably ain't going to like. It's just like normal job. You got to love doing what you do.
Exactly. That's the only way, especially I find in this business, this is one of the, if not the most difficult industries to be in. So, and it's so competitive. I mean, and that's why, not to tout the IC Awards, but that is really why I started it, because there are so many talented people out there that don't get the recognition, may never have been seen. And I felt it was important with the talent that's out there to shine a spotlight on people that deserve it.
And you do such a wonderful job doing that, bringing that light, that spotlight to others. And it just shines through you. I can really tell that you're passionate about creativity and art and the people who are involved in it. And I really appreciate you for, giving that opportunity to other people because we need it. We know all the love and support we can get.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's really my pleasure to do it. I couldn't do it if I didn't really enjoy it because it's tough on this end too.
I believe it.
Yeah, but I do enjoy it. And I like talking to people like you. It's been my pleasure to have you. So hopefully, we will watch you as you continue to grow and blossom. We know that's going to happen already. I'm putting it out there in the universe. Yes. So thanks again for joining me today. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on our podcast, thank you so much. Make sure you watch and listen to all the rest of our episodes and make sure you like and share so that we can spread the love even more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll catch you next time.